See what's making noise this week.
All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to On the Radar with Rain. You know, on Mondays, we do Radar After Dark, where we step away from the gossip and focus on stories that leave more questions than answers. Tonight, I have three stories for you. A tragic domestic case out of Virginia involving a former high ranking public official, a line of duty death in Chicago now under renewed scrutiny, and a developing story involving deaths connected to sensitive government research environments. So, three stories all raising the same question: hey, what really happened? So, let's get into it. Our first segment, we're going to go over to Virginia, where a tragic domestic case involving Justin Fairfax is now drawing attention, not just for how it ended, but for who he was and what led up to it. He is a former lieutenant governor of Virginia, once considered a rising figure in national politics. He served as the second highest elected official in that state and was at one point positioned to potentially step into the governor's role during a major political controversy. His career was also marked by serious allegations in 2019, which he denied and was never criminally charged for, yet they significantly impacted his political future. So forwarding to what's happening now, authorities have said that both Fairfax and his wife were found unalived inside their home, which is being investigated as a self deletion and unaliving case. I'm trying to stick with words that we can use
Yes,
so we
yes.
don't get flagged. But the deeper story is in the months that lead up to it. Court records show a contentious divorce, custody disputes, financial disagreements, a court order requiring him to leave the home. So there were also documented concerns about alcohol use, isolation, and a breakdown in the family dynamic. So
Say on one hand, this investigation is cut and dry, but it's complicated in some others. Police say there is no doubt the former lieutenant governor is the shooter, but what set him off may take a little bit longer to nail down. Though we're learning tonight that mounting marital issues and a pending divorce were fueling years of turmoil inside the Fairfax family home. He was once the second most powerful statewide politician in Virginia. Tonight, he's at the center of a murder-suicide investigation. Fairfax County police say former Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax shot and killed his wife, Serena, a well-known dentist, in the basement of the family's Annandale home. Police say after shooting his wife, Justin then ran upstairs to the primary bedroom and shot himself. The couple and their two teenage children were in the throes of what police describe as a messy divorce.
It all kind of culminated last night when Justin Fairfax shot several times, killed his wife, ran to a different part of the home, and then killed himself.
According to court documents obtained by News 4, Serena Fairfax filed for divorce from Justin in 2025. Just last month, a Fairfax County judge granted custody of the children to Serena and ordered Justin to move out of the home by the end of April. In the custody opinion, a judge wrote, quote, "The wife testified that heavy daily alcohol consumption by the father has become the norm." The court documents say Justin Fairfax spiraled into alcoholism and isolated himself from family involvement following the 2019 sexual assault allegations against him while he was in office. Allegations he denied, but still weighed on him tremendously, the judge wrote. During the custody battle, the judge also found, quote, "The evidence also showed that in 2022, the father purchased a handgun with money intended for his children's horseback riding lessons." During the divorce proceedings, Serena Fairfax installed cameras throughout the family's home, according to police. Police say those cameras were rolling last night, just like they were back in January when Justin called police to claim that Serena had assaulted him.
We reviewed those cameras and we corroborated that the alleged assault never occurred.
Court documents show evidence that Serena Fairfax was actively involved in her children's lives, finding no evidence that Serena ever engaged in inappropriate conduct and maintained great relationships with the two kids. The court found, however, that Justin was currently unable to have a healthy relationship with his kids due to his alcohol use and self-isolation within the home. The family's internal struggles were even becoming apparent to neighbors, according to Peter DeMeo.
Just amazed, shocked, and because I knew them.
DeMeo says it was clear Serena and Justin had some marital issues, but he would have never imagined it would end with both parents dead and detectives carrying out backpacks and lacrosse sticks, apparently belonging to the two kids.
Anything like this is upsetting, and then you think
yeah. So that's 2 lives lost. Children without both parents now. Do y'all think like this situation could have been recognized earlier, or was it something no one could have stopped?
I think we should save it for This is perfect, Rain. I didn't know. Hey, y'all, when Rain create these storylines, I don't know what it is going to be, but Rain, you right on the money tonight. We're gonna be able to tie. We'll be able to tie this in. We'll be able to tie this in.
Okay.
I like
All
this.
right.
Thank you, Rain. Great job. Great job.
So we're gonna go ahead and move on then. The next story shows what happens when everything unfolds in real time under pressure. So in Chicago, a case from last year is now back in the spotlight after newly released video brought new attention to the death of Officer Krystal Rivera. Rivera was a Chicago police officer who died during a foot pursuit inside an apartment building back in June of 2025. At the time, the department described the incident as accidental, but the newly released footage shows a more detailed sequence of events. Officers were pursuing a suspect believed to be armed, moving quickly through a building into a confined and high-risk environment. As they reached an apartment unit, another individual inside appeared to raise what looked like a weapon, and in that moment, Rivera's partner turned, fired his weapon, striking her from behind. Her death was later ruled a homicide, but the investigation is now focused on not just the shot, but what happened after. That video shows that after the shot was fired, her partner moved away from the immediate scene, radioing for help. There was a delay and before he returned to her. So the timeline is sketchy and it's a key issue now because allegedly her family has filed a lawsuit alleging reckless behavior, failure to provide immediate aid, and raising questions about a prior romantic relationship between both of them. So those claims haven't been proven. But on the other side, the police union and the officers' legal team say that this was a tragic accident, a loss of footing, an unintentional discharge, that he acted within the department policy and training. So, I mean,
See what they got to say, man. It's crazy.
yeah.
We have some newly released body camera footage today showing the moments leading up to and the immediate aftermath of a deadly shooting of a Chicago police officer at the hands of her own partner. Now, the police union contends the incident back in June was the result of an accidental discharge as officers were chasing suspects into an apartment complex on the city's south side. Investigative reporter Bennett Haberly is joining us now to explain the timing behind all of this. Bennett.
Yeah, Alex, we're about to show you these videos, but first, as you mentioned, it's important to address the context of why they're being released now. And it comes actually months after NBC5 investigates and other news outlets in Chicago went to court asking the judge overseeing the criminal cases of the suspects in this case to release these videos. Well, the judge initially denied that request, but an appellate court overturned her ruling, which is what led us to file another request that they be made public.
Let me see your hands, bro.
You're looking at body camera footage from Officer Carlos Baker as he and his partner, Krystal Rivera, pursue a suspect into a Chatham apartment on June 5th, 2025. As they run up the stairs, Officer Baker kicks open the door of an apartment. 20 seconds after that shot is fired, which we now know came from Officer Baker's gun, we can hear a dispatcher on the radio.
Krystal, you got it? 10-1, shot fired at the police. You need an ambulance now. I can't get my partner.
More than 90 seconds go by before Officer Baker heads back down the stairs, initially stepping over Officer Krystal Rivera, who can be seen bleeding. He then begins to drag her down the stairs and tells fellow officers to transport her. We've blurred that portion of the video. This wrongful death lawsuit filed against Baker and the city in December on behalf of Krystal Rivera's family criticizes Baker's actions that night, alleging he was reckless, failed to apply pressure to stop the bleeding, or disclose to dispatch that it was his gun that fired. It also alleges the two were previously romantically involved, that Krystal had broken things off, complained about her partner's...
Rain, you're creating the show. Like, man, let me give you a round of applause. Like, I don't think people understand. And she did this before the show. She had this up last night.
Yeah.
Boy, this show about
while I was doing my live.
Yeah, man, shout out to the guy. Yeah, man, this is about to be a real spill show right tonight, man. This is for real. Like, this is going to be
reckless is too
a
superior.
Very direct show tonight.
Yeah. We're gonna be speaking on all of it, and we can move forward.
No, finish your thing. Finish your thing, though.
Okay. So I was gonna ask, do y'all think there was a split second mistake, or should the response have been different for him? Or do you think he was like in a high pressure environment at the time where he couldn't properly process everything?
I think he achieved the goal he wanted to achieve.
Okay.
3 words: calculated.
Yeah. Yeah, he achieved the thing he wanted, and like he achieved what he wanted to achieve, and he knew the situation was like it was just a perfectly calculated situation. And you can look at this from so many views, but there's a million cops who don't apply pressure to people, or like you see this worldwide, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a very unique case. Yeah, man, but man, great job, Ray. Great
All
job.
right.
This is all
And so this last story, and while that case right there is being examined moment by moment, our final story raises I thought it was so interesting. Raises questions for a completely different reason, not because of what we can see, but because of what we don't fully know. So, according to reporting from CBS News, multiple deaths and disappearances over time have involved individuals connected to sensitive U.S. government research environments. So, these are not like random individuals, right? These are scientists, engineers, and specialists working in the areas tied to national security, including nuclear research, aerospace systems, and defense technology. So some were found deceased under unclear or unexpected circumstances, while others were just reported missing before later being located. So while each case has its own explanation, the concern is not about one situation, it's about the number of incidents over time. Officials have stated clearly that there is no confirmed evidence linking all of these cases together. They point to individual causes, health issues, personal situations, unrelated events. But here's where the tension comes in. These individuals work in environments where information is tightly controlled and public access is limited. And when multiple incidents happen in spaces the public doesn't fully understand, questions grow. So,
all right, let's play what they got.
There's definitely a lot of questions surrounding this because at least 10 of those scientists, military officials, and employees, as you mentioned, who are tied to America's most sensitive nuclear and space programs have either just vanished or disappeared in the last few years. So we hope we'll break this down for you. We put this together. The cases span from July 2023 to now. In some, deaths remain unexplained or lack full public detail. In others, sudden disappearances with few answers. So check out some of these cases. Most recently, retired Air Force General William McCaslin vanished in February. He walked out of his Albuquerque home, leaving behind his phone. Previously, he oversaw some of the Pentagon's most advanced aerospace programs. Then check out this case also in February. Astrophysicist Carl Grillmeyer, who worked closely on NASA missions, was killed outside of his home. Police did arrest a suspect in that case. Then 8 months earlier, U.S. rocket scientist Monica Reza disappeared while hiking in California's Angeles National Forest. Records show she worked on advanced aerospace materials. I spoke to Congressman Eric Burleson, who's calling for an FBI investigation.
Well, these were not ordinary citizens. These are some of the most advanced scientists that are working on some of our most critical nation secrets. This has all of the hallmarks of a foreign operation. And so this is something that we need to be investigating.
yeah. So, their families are left searching for answers. Colleagues are left with uncertainty. And the public is left trying to separate facts from speculation. So is this coincidence? Or are we simply missing pieces of a larger picture?
It's got to be something else going on.
That's
creepy.
It's 10 people in the span from 2023 to this, I think this year, if I'm not mistaken. And sometimes people just go missing. And they all work for like NASA, the nuclear energy, different government organizations. So it just seems weird. Y'all got anything? You muted, so.
So you muted.
Oh, I remember when my bad, y'all. I remember when the pandemic first started, man, and everybody got on that list. Like even people like RZA and all them got on that list, that banning list for like the vaccine and all that stuff, man. I mean, it might be more people. And I tell people all the time, bro, like in Albuquerque, I think I mentioned this early on in No Middleman when we first started about almost 9 months ago. I was stationed out there, and a lot of people don't know they have Sandia Labs out there.
Mhm.
There's a lot of experiments that go on out there. That's where they experiment a lot of things on animals, allegedly. They also got weapons that are being worked on. They have weapons that can see through doors and all types of stuff, allegedly. And at that time, we used to get called out to the alarms because I was a nuclear security cop at the time. So we used to get called out to the alarms out there at Kirtland, at Albuquerque, dog. And there was a lot of stuff in that building. So none of that stuff shocks me that what he's seen, some of the paperwork he probably seen from the Pentagon, definitely true. Definitely true.
Yeah.
Security clearance.
Yeah.
Sandia Labs out there, dog.
All right. So we have 3 cases, different situations, of course, but all pointing to the same issue. How do we truly understand what happened when the full picture takes time to come together? So this has been Radar After Dark on the Radar with Rain. If you made it this far and you're catching this on a rewatch, make sure you drop a raindrop in the chat or an umbrella in the chat. Tell me which story disturbed you the most. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, of course, because over here we don't just report the headlines, we break down what they really mean.
She's in that
Ryan.
bag. Girl, you in your bag, girl.
You're locked into On the Radar